Short Film Roundup.
But first, a quick disclaimer. On Short Film Roundup, we review short films with the utmost honesty, sometimes brutal honesty. This means we may say things about your blood, sweat, and tears labor of love short film that aren't necessarily flattering. We do this because we believe it's the best way for you, us, and the entire short film making community to learn and grow. So don't take it personally. We have all made the same mistakes on our filmmaking journey, so if it ever appears that we are laughing at you, just know that we are also laughing at ourselves. Now on with the show. And welcome to the Halloween episode of Short Film Roundup. I'm Kenny.
I'm Devon.
Oh. And who are you?
I'm Taylor.
You look great.
Are you okay, Taylor?
I don't feel so good, guys.
What's up?
Yeah, I ate some food earlier today, and it made my skin break out.
This is from food.
Yeah.
This is a food thing, a food allergy.
I had some Panda Express.
Okay.
Orange chicken.
Have you had Panda Express before?
Yeah. This happens.
Oh, this happens before.
Yeah.
Oh, well then no, it's
every
no issue.
time?
Every time I've ever had it, I just
why do you go back?
bleed my skin.
Why do you keep going?
I just wanted the orange chicken.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to scratch that itch.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
exactly.
Love. What the heck are you?
I'm a nice guy.
This is what nice guys are.
Yeah, the lady.
For the record, the real Devon Keys does not vape.
Yeah, this is gross. Actually, this is called.
Give us one good one though. Before you put it away, give us one good one. Oh man! Oh, don't over. Oh!
This is called Fantasia OC Snack Off.
Ew!
That's the flavor.
That's the flavor.
OC Snack Off.
Disgusting.
It's gross.
Well, welcome to the internet's most sophisticated short film review show. So sophisticated, we do require a high IQ of our viewers. So if your IQ is not up to par, we invite you to leave.
To be honest, I mean, you do. You need a high IQ.
Where we review user-submitted short films. For our Halloween special, we are reviewing 3 horror movies.
4. We've added.
Should we tell them about that now?
Yeah. Surprise, guys.
Okay, so our promise was we were going to cover 3 horror films. We had the 3 picked out for over a month now, and then one film was sent to us just today that
Say it.
It is the worst film we've ever seen.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's a horror film, and
it's by far the worst worst film ever on the show. Yeah, by far.
It's really something special. So we had to add it.
That's so bad.
It is. It is. But
they signed up for this.
Seeing it,
they signed it. The filmmaker signs up for this.
I guess
all right?
so.
And it's like
we have
the small
disclaimer on the
print
front.
in our contract is that we might tell the world that you made the worst film we've ever seen.
We're sorry.
And it's not. Yeah.
I don't apologize.
It's not to be
This
mean.
pirate does not apologize. I have no no regrets.
Give us a big R.
But it
Arr,
is,
your movie sucked. So
it's particularly interesting.
All right, so stick around to the end if you want to get a glimpse at the train wreck that is our 4th film today.
Yeah.
But let's start with the beginning.
First one for today is called To Save Oneself, and it's written and directed by Matthew Campbell.
Matthew Campbell.
The link is in the description. Click the link.
Go watch that
the
movie.
film,
Watch that movie.
and then come back.
Yeah, come back.
We're back. I can't even do it. We are back.
We're back. We're back. Are you still with us, Taylor?
Taylor, you look a lot like a part of this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could have been one of the zombies.
You wanna talk about it?
I mean, it'll clear up.
Chime in.
Yeah, this movie, To Save Oneself, I love this opening stuff. It reminded me of 28 Days Later, and the Fast Zombies also.
Aggressive zombies.
Yeah.
What kind of camera rig is that? That's crazy.
There was some wild camera stuff in this, actually.
Yeah.
That was crazy too when he
Yeah,
busted
this door.
the door.
That was insane.
That's a weak door.
The production quality is great here.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the character traits, and there were arcs. I like that it mostly told a story visually, very little dialogue. I like that about it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest feedback I would give to this film is that I think it needed to simplify a little bit. I felt like it was all over the place in terms of pacing and editing. Like, I never felt like I watched one scene. Like, I felt like I got little bits of a bunch of scenes.
Interesting.
Because of the flashbacks and all that.
Right.
But it wasn't in a way that was... it was in a negative kind of way for me, where it felt a little bit incoherent. Though I did grasp, I think, what he was trying to tell, what story he was trying to tell.
Yeah.
You know, this arc of this guy, timid guy, building up courage to kill himself with his family or something.
That was kind of weird that it did seem like it was building up that character. Like, we all saw it, like we saw what he was doing, but it never seemed like it actually got there.
Yeah, it was a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
A little bit confusing. I think it just needed to simplify a little bit. You can even keep the same scale, you know, but just keep the story a little bit simpler.
I love this part. Daddy, look. Blood. Look, Daddy, blood. No, baby.
That jib
Don't
is
touch
crazy.
dead crows.
Is that a jib shot?
It's got to be.
It could be a.
I guess because it goes 180.
It felt like a drone to me.
Interesting.
But
those are some cool close-ups. The color correction here was freaking awesome.
it's very cool. There was so much that was cool about this movie that I feel bad for not liking it.
Same here.
Like, I want to like this movie more, and it took me a while to put words to like what actually bothered me about this film.
Yeah.
Can you do you have
I'm
it
gonna
in
try
words?
now.
Yeah.
So the problem with this to me is that here we're telling a story that's meant to be like harrowing. Like, this is meant to be an emotionally harrowing experience, and yet visually, even though we have sweat and a dirty location and bloody people, this still feels so clean and crisp.
It does to me too.
And almost sterile. This will only be understood by certain people. If you've seen it on TV, you might get it. But this feels like, it almost feels like I wouldn't have been surprised if it ended with a message from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
That's what you were saying
interesting.
earlier. Yeah, the first thing you said to me was like, "Have you seen many Christian films?"
Yeah, it has this over sentimentality.
Yeah.
Like, very strong emotional sentiment, and I think it's really hard to pull that off in less is more. Less is more.
Yeah.
You need some very, very strong performances and dialogue if you're going to do it with a lot of exposition, which is what they tried here. It just came across as sort of campy and forced. The relationship between him and his wife, especially,
that was awkward.
just felt bad. And again, like Taylor said, this whole part was like, oh, see, now I understand what you're trying to do. He's sort of a timid person, and he has to face up to his weaknesses and go be there for his wife and daughter, even though they're already zombified, I guess. But again, that was like a very complex story to try to tell. That's a huge jump. Like, the arc goes like... like way over here,
it's huge
in a short amount of time, where there just wasn't enough there on the screen to make me go, oh, okay, yeah, I get it, I'm with you, I feel for you.
Right.
For all the amount of sentiment that was poured into this, I felt very little.
It feels so much like what we've talked about before when we're talking about sympathy versus empathy.
Yeah.
And it very much
that is exactly it.
Sympathy. Yeah.
Yes. Feel something because you see something sad happening to a person, rather than you feel the emotions that person is having because you've identified with them on an empathic level.
Right, like it's happening to you at the moment.
Right. So to try to make this actually helpful to people, what is missing to make that leap, to get to the point where we're having empathy with this character instead of just watching him have a sad experience?
I mean, for me, I think it's emulating. Denis does this so well. Denis Villeneuve does this really, really well in his movies, where you're portraying the emotion the character should be feeling. and he's portraying it on screen. And I think they do it also really well in Walking Dead, where if something is...
Or at least they did.
They used to, right? If something is terrifying, then it jumps out and scares you. You know, if something is sad, you're building a connection with something, and then the connection's torn away. Like, you're not just watching people do stuff. It's like every emotion comes through camera work, through music, through the person who's feeling stuff, all of it, you know. And this had none of that, unfortunately. Any of the camera angles looking at him are just about him doing something and him remembering something. Mm-hmm. You know, we didn't experience this part with the guys calling out to the girl. We didn't experience it. We saw him look at it.
Yeah,
you know.
And this is where the veneer of the story completely cracked for me, was in this scene, and
when the dialogue started.
Then the two thugs, say, "Hey, baby, want to be with the real man?"
Yeah,
and then I was like, and then
cheers.
Like, yeah, let's high five.
It was like they were gonna jump up and
that was like right out of a late 1980s sitcom, you know.
Yeah, that was really, really cheesy.
Again, this is a movie that takes itself very seriously.
Yeah,
right. And
that's an interesting idea about the flashbacks and seeing him remember stuff, you know, and like because we're watching all this exposition through memories, it feels more distant, and it doesn't feel like you can actually gauge or like get truly emotionally invested without having experienced it yourself. It's like you're watching him re-experience something in the past.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. It actually takes a lot of the weight out of those moments because you know where he's headed anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So the significance is pretty minimal unless you're going to really reveal something that moves the story forward.
Right.
From what I gathered, his big the big conclusion of this story is he decides that he did wrong by his wife and daughter by running away, and that he owes it to them to be there even though they're zombies.
I didn't even get that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got.
That's what I gathered, because he had the flashback to where he told his daughter,
right,
Daddy comes home to you every day, and then he started thinking about her, and he's like, okay, I have to go back. And he comes back, checks on them. They're weirdly, like, cuddling.
Yeah, I thought they were dead.
I mean, they're almost, like, showing compassion for each other.
I think maybe they're laying on each other just in a way that
I hope so. I hope so. But he decides, okay, I'm just going to hang out here and babysit my zombie family, I guess.
Yeah. And then he just chooses to die by them.
But that was obviously meant to be... Well, no, he closes the door.
Yeah, and you see the shadow of them get up.
Yeah, so
right.
he is he in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is... I didn't catch that. So it's suicide by his family?
By his family, yeah.
Oh, that's dark.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark.
That's dark
I
AF,
really
man.
I like that as a conclusion a lot.
I like the conclusion.
I like that conclusion, too. It just doesn't fit in this movie.
Yeah,
it doesn't
it
seem
just,
that way.
all the build-up to it was not as good as it could have been, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's one scene where a truck drives through some trash cans.
Oh,
and that was
dude.
awesome.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Big sequence, this set piece was just awesome.
It's because, like, we saw nothing, and then we see everything all at once.
That's what I loved.
There's a guy hanging on the truck.
This was like, nice takedown. I believe someone was injured.
Yeah, look, there's smoke coming out.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I really didn't expect
that
it
looks
to
like
go
it's
like
composited
that
in.
I think it is.
That helicopter. But
that guy, he's definitely dead.
Yeah.
Like that zombie got him. He's dead.
Yeah. That looks like a very fast zombie.
He's
I don't
very
think you're
fast.
outrunning that guy. But dude,
that takedown, dude.
Awesome.
Can we just watch that one more time?
Yeah.
Just watch this. Ready? Here he comes.
Dude, yeah, that's awesome. Like,
I hope those were stunt guys who knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I loved.
Yeah.
So this actually reminded me of one of the scenes that we all participated in.
Kids from Planet Earth.
Kids Planet Earth,
yeah.
When we had the whole street.
Or so much orchestrated chaos.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And the way that the story was so intimate and small up to that point made that moment all the more awesome.
Yeah.
But the fact that it then dilated back down to to very small and intimate, sort of. I think that was part
Kinda
of the
killed it.
pacing problem.
Yeah, there was a lot of pacing issues here. They kept doing the whole cut back to his memories, cut back here so that we're building context. But I felt like they kept cutting back at intervals throughout the whole thing and never really built any context. It was like, yeah, I understand that, yeah, so he was with his wife and she's like, oh, you got to be better. And he's like, okay, now maybe I'll be better. And I don't know, I just kept wavering.
I think they overdid everything.
Oh, interesting.
The emotional aspects are over the top. Some of the scale is a little over the top. The music was so over the top.
How about this tackle? Was it over the top?
I will give an award for that tackle. That's the best stunt we've had submitted to us. That and the truck part.
Yeah.
This is the best stunt sequence we've had sent to us on Short Film Roundup.
Yeah.
But
I like his face there.
the music was like at peak emotion through the entire movie.
It really was, yeah.
I mean, so much so that it was overpowering. It became a character of the story. You became fully aware of the score from moment one and never stopped being aware of the score.
Right, never did, yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's distracting. I don't feel like it added. We have another movie we're reviewing today. It'll be the second movie we cover today, where the score of that movie is like 5 notes repeated.
And it makes it...
It's an extremely minimalist score, and it does so much to the storytelling.
It does a lot, yeah.
And the set pieces and the characters that you've created here deserve more of the spotlight.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Had you taken out the music from this, we probably would have been pulled in even more.
I think so.
Yeah,
to the
I think so too.
Yeah.
I feel like the composer, that's how they had an original score by a composer.
It felt original.
It also felt like someone who has been dying to score a movie like this and then just dumped everything into it. You know, it's like, I'm gonna write a score from moment one to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't suit the movie.
That actually happened the first time I hired someone to score a film I had made. You know,
Mine was opposite, actually.
Just like, boom, music.
When I hired a scorer, he did it very minimalistic, which I actually really liked. I wanted to talk about this scene real quick. I felt like I didn't get from it what they were supposed to give me. So I understood, now we're cross-cutting.
He's trying to overcome his demon of being a wimp.
Right, and I actually really like this shot because it's a reveal.
He didn't... that part where the pipe came out, I thought that was clever. A lot of how this film was shot and edited was clever.
Yeah. So this part, when he's like beating and then it shows
his
little girl.
Is he hitting like arms, fingers?
Yeah, I was like, oh, is he killing his... No, I'm like, no, he's just beating the fridge or whatever.
Well, I guess there's arms coming through that crack that he's swinging at.
But we don't see them.
No, we don't. We just see him swinging at it. And
then we keep fading the black. I hate that. Throughout this whole film, we're fading the black.
You know,
it's just too much, like you said.
Times.
I really like that part. That was cool.
Actually, this sequence was pretty well done for what it is. I mean, that's not easy to do well.
No.
And it's still, I mean, not perfect, but
it looks pretty violent, though.
And it was organic action. Like, he gets attacked from the back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like, we've seen fight
and
sequences like this.
This one was pretty dang good.
Smack.
Bam.
Yeah, that was really a really good one.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we just have a really good stunt coordinator.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because that door was really good, too. And that part, too.
Yeah. There was so much about this that was done well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
don't
it's
get us
just
wrong. Yeah.
and in fact, it's the movies that near miss that frustrate me the most.
Yeah.
We've said that many times.
Yeah.
It's like a movie that's just flat out bad, which again we're going to share at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
I laugh at them.
Yeah, sure.
Or we just have fun at seeing where we used to be a long time ago. But movies that clearly have a ton of effort and hard work and talent, emotion and talent put into it that just don't quite come together hurt me the most.
They do.
I'm just frustrated by this. I want it to get there, and it's just not there.
And really, the editing and directing here, I think, are the things that made it take a hit. Because like the cinematography is flawless.
It's pretty dialed.
That's
flawless.
And I like
Saying
the
a
way
lot
they.
from D.
Yeah, D picks on cinematography big time.
And the sound is
I don't know.
quite good.
The writing, at least of the dialogue, is problematic to me.
Right.
I
The
almost
writing- well,
feel
even
like
with
you
the
could
action,
have
too.
told the same story without saying a word,
Yeah.
and it would
Yeah,
have
the
been.
dialogue was
It may
was
have
not
been
good.
a stronger film. It's so hard to write good dialogue,
Absolutely.
and if you haven't written good dialogue, you're never going to perform it
Right.
well.
Right.
I mean, you actually take away a lot of power from good actors. You know. Can I talk a little bit about the genre, and then before we move on to our next film?
Yeah, unless you got something else to say, too.
The editing was my least favorite part
Of the whole thing.
Yeah, my biggest gripe.
Yeah.
It was like rigid and like
Rigid is an
Yeah.
interesting word to use, yeah.
choppy.
Genre. Yeah, genre.
Okay. I'm going to make an argument that is, I will admit, is filled with some holes, but
Okay.
I want to get it out there anyway.
All right.
It's just something that's been kind of on my mind.
Let's do it.
Is that when we do a genre piece, especially a zombie piece, here we're making a movie that literally, because of two pieces of intellectual property out there in the world, The Walking Dead and the 28 Days movies, the entire context and world building was made by other films,
Yeah.
right? And I don't think you can argue your way out of that. The rules of this world, maybe with very few exceptions, have already been established, and the filmmaker is accepting and depending on that the audience
Right.
has bought into those rules from other films.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell my original story in that world, or a world that's extremely similar.
Yeah.
That is what frustrates me so much about zombie movies and and heavy genre pieces.
Interesting.
And that's what's so cool about like Arrival,
Yeah.
right? Where Denis takes an idea that has been done roughly the same way many times, and does it in a way that we've never seen before.
Yeah. Yeah. His own take on it. It's interesting because that's actually what, when I was watching the show The Get Down on Netflix, it was the same kind of stuff where like The Get Down's about like how would you even describe it? Not blaxploitation, but there's
No, I mean it's about life in a very depressed time and place.
but they use this aesthetic in there. My point is Baz Luhrmann, who made it, it's very much his take on this genre, you know, of show. And I've seen that with Denis, and I've seen that with even what's his name, classic filmmaker, masterpiece guy that you like, Kubrick
all he
does,
did.
yeah. It's just he just takes other media and just puts his taste on it. So
My point is that if this person, this filmmaker, Matthew, right?
yes,
If he had prefaced this movie by saying a Walking Dead fan film,
interesting.
you wouldn't have had to change a thing.
That's true.
And it would fit perfectly.
That's true.
If AMC put out this piece of media as one of their Walking Dead web shorts, just something they did like back in season 2-3, they made all these web shorts that took place in the same universe. They have about the exact same production quality as this. It would have fit perfectly.
It would have. Yeah.
And that's my problem, you know. And I know people are going to say like, "Oh, so we don't make vampire movies anymore? We don't make, but, and I understand that, but that just to me really stifles the whole creativity and journey of storytelling. We're just sort of relying on other people's world building.
Yeah.
I take a little bit of exception to that.
There's lots of room.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
With specifically with this movie, where I didn't really get any Walking Dead vibes from this one. I got strictly 28 days vibes.
If the zombies were more decomposed and walked slower,
then it would be Walking Dead.
I think that's the only difference.
Yeah, but I feel like you could say that to any zombie movie.
You probably
just
could.
inherently.
But you make a good point about how it's become another thing, you know. It's now more, but so many people know about it that we've built more context around the idea.
Do we have any questions for the filmmaker?
Yeah. So do we have any questions?
So first and foremost, how long did it take you to make this? I would love to, especially to get a little glimpse at what it was like making that big set piece.
Yeah.
And was anyone injured?
Yeah, I want to know the specific parts of the big sequence, like if there was anything that was composited in there, like the helicopter or something. And I also would like to know where the kernel of inspiration of all this came from. Like why, we always ask, why'd you make this?
Why?
So I would really like to know that.
And how was our interpretation of the character arc and to the conclusion he came to, how he got to it, and why he went back into that room with his zombie wife and daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys nailed my questions, basically.
Snooze, you lose.
All right.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you very much. And
Yeah, thank you.
holy crap.
Dude,
Good job.
Yeah.
The titles are a little over the top.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little over top.
It's kind of awesome.
Maybe
Kinda over top.
maybe 2 titles and then you switch to the crawl, but hey, whatever,
Have
You
fun.
be you.
Yeah.
You be you.
Do you?
Yeah.
Drink a Diet Coke. Okay.
What's
up
next
next?
on the docket?
Next.
Mr. Good Guy.
Nice guy.
Nice guy.
Not good guy.
Sorry,
nice guy.
sorry.
I'm a nice guy.
I don't keep up with all these
Take out my
hip
pen.
terms that the kids are doing these days.
To be fair, you
Not
have
a
to
Chad.
You're not a Chad?
Not a Chad. I'm not some done-up pirate Chad.
Is that a shot? Shots fired?
Why don't
You taking
Why
shots?
don't you try to decipher what I'm saying?
intellectually.
Oh
no.
On to the next movie.
Next one we have Tube by one of our go-to filmmakers, Dario Ortega.
Yeah,
Returning.
Yeah,
Did
he-
the Pink
The
Concept?
Pink Concept a
Concept.
few weeks back. Let's take a look.
Yes, sir. There is a link in the description, milady. Click it, watch the film, and then come right back. And we're back.
Hello.
Wow.
Hey.
So,
Hey.
Tubular.
Tube was tubular.
Kenny, tell me about Tube by D. Wait, that's me.
Wait a second.
That's you. Dario, we all agreed almost instantly after this finish that it is easily in the top 2 or 3 short films we've covered so far.
It's so weird that we would think in this episode alone we'd have easily one of the top
Yeah.
and easily the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is really funny.
This was a fantastic film.
yes, it was.
absolutely.
You did so many things so well. The pacing was great from this opening shot. We had this long shot.
Love
Yeah.
this shot so much. I love all the shots in here.
And
Yeah.
so much storytelling happened in these first first minute, right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as he'd come into the house, just the way he wiped his feet and looked around, it was obvious that this wasn't his home, and that he was there with permission,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like we already knew that, and as soon as he hit play on that tape, we're like, okay, he's house sitting, got it. True to Dario Ortega style, this includes a cassette tape player and a vinyl record player.
I think he has some
You
sort
have
of
to have
connection here.
a vintage technology connection,
Yeah, heavily
and the
hinging on
story has
television.
to do something with television.
Maybe
So-
he's a zoomer who's like feeling out what is this mysterious
No,
technology?
same
Magnetism.
actor as Pink Concept.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, yeah. He just has a beard now.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
really good.
I got heavy enemy vibes from this whole thing.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah. Enemy.
Yeah.
Lost Highway was the biggest one for me. David
Man.
Lynch's movie.
So there was great cinematography. The
Amazing.
The story was very eerie and creepy.
Yeah.
Like you kept, and again, we mentioned it in the last movie that the score for this minimalist score was so cool. The fact that you could play it over another song
Yeah.
that was playing in the background, and
Well-known song.
and still have the impact you wanted is quite an achievement.
Quite a bit, yeah.
a few of the things you did here were just so fresh, and I'm sure they're not completely original, but yet it still was. This whole thing, this sequence where we're cutting all around to him exploring the house while listening to the tape was just perfect.
It's great.
Yeah.
We don't like tropey things on the show here. We don't like cliche, and one of the cliche things we hate is time loop stuff.
Yeah.
And here
This was done
we
so
had
fresh.
experiments with time looping that was completely new.
Yeah.
to me.
Totally fresh.
Yeah, I've
So
never
well
seen it
done.
like that before.
I loved it. If I could make one criticism, it's only that the movie ended feeling like it didn't end. It left me dissatisfied. I wanted to have just a little bit more, just story, just a little bit more.
Of a conclusion.
Not even necessarily a conclusion, but what's frustrating is not having a conclusion or any idea of what's happening, right? For example, there's a suggestion that the owners of the house are somehow tied in to what's happening here. Right? So that's one loose end that if they had just had maybe tied one of those just a little bit, I'd feel like we had made it, to the end. As it stands, it kind of feels like a slice of a really good movie that I wish I had the rest of somewhere.
That's true. It does feel that way.
But really, all I can say is praise. It's a short film that I could watch again.
Yeah.
Which is...
And, show to somebody.
Which is
And
rare
show to
enough.
someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, check out this
Yeah.
awesome short film.
Yeah.
I absolutely... this shot also. Look at that shot. That's awesome. The way he's just in the very bottom corner.
Yeah.
And the TV's up there.
Yeah.
I love the effects on the television. And I loved how it just kept getting, the mysterious atmosphere of this film just kept getting thicker and thicker as it kept going on, to the point where I was actually feeling really unnerved.
Yeah.
Really
I felt
concerned.
it too.
And I was looking around, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
This was a story that actually built. It's the intrigue, the story, the pacing, it just kept taking you further and further down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And
extremely intriguing, And the time when towards the end when they say, hey man, his friend calls him, he's like, hey, are you feeling all right? I saw that Instagram post.
Yeah.
And he's like, what Instagram
Dude.
post? And we see it, and then later on we see that the television takes the photo of him, and then
that was so good.
The whole looping of the hand and delay.
Yeah.
Then he looks straight into the camera.
That was
also at the end.
so great.
I love this part
Amazing.
too, where he answers the door at night, but it's morning.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
so
that was
awesome.
fantastic.
It's just all these. It just feels like you hit everything just right.
Yeah, it felt like we had wandered into a living nightmare.
Yeah.
It had that uncanniness of an actual dream, which was cool.
This was I'm sorry, did I interrupt at all?
I was done.
Oh, you're such a nice guy.
I try to be okay. I actually didn't like
What?
yeah,
Here we go.
I didn't like
Here we go.
just the ring on the TV the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Because it's put on in post and it's out of focus, so it's really hard to get that matched up perfectly. But the TV was on a snowy channel, where it was going, and they put it over it. Anyway, that's kind of bothering me. But dude, the entire film, I'm just going cinematography. Oh my god! I do actually want to know. Get ready for it.
No, don't say it.
Get ready for it.
He's gonna say it.
I want to know what kind of imaging device you decided to record the movie into. It's because there's shots in here that I don't think are possible without a low light sensor. So I wanted to know if you had a really low light camera.
We're in the
like
market.
That.
That's all.
We are in the market.
Yeah,
Thing.
yeah. Let's make that clear. This is only for research because we are shopping.
So anyway, they just look pretty fantastic.
He would be a perfect guy to cast in our movie.
Yeah,
We're
he
looking
would
to
be
cast
great.
someone, and that guy's it.
Yeah.
Let's call him up.
Yeah.
This whole area I thought was really interesting because I'm fairly certain what you're using here is a house that you rented, like on Airbnb or something like that. I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure that's what you did because everything is so pristine.
Yeah, it has an Airbnb vibe.
But what's cool about it is that he's definitely not supposed to be living there.
Yeah.
And
So it works.
So it works
Yeah.
completely. So I really like that.
That's the thing when you rent an Airbnb home.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually so obvious because you're like, okay, this dude who's like a bachelor,
Yeah.
and he's living in this house that looks like a bed and breakfast.
Right.
It just
It's not
doesn't
lived in.
match.
Yeah.
You know. Which is why we're about to shoot a short film where we're literally taking every single piece of furniture out of a borrowed house
Yeah.
and refurnishing it to make it match up. And this works. Look at that. There's a hospital IV tower.
That's so interesting.
Now that's weird.
That's weird.
That I didn't notice on the
that
first
bleach?
watch. There's a bottle of bleach
That is so
and
interesting.
an IV tree. That adds a whole nother layer of weirdness to this story.
Go back to that scene real quick.
Which
First question.
What we were just looking at.
one? The bed.
Tell me about the IV thing.
I think that was forgotten about.
This scene was creepy.
Oh, come on,
When
man.
he comes down the stairs.
Right here.
That was
so
super creepy, yeah.
He's looking at himself here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That was
there's the 2001 A Space Odyssey
That's what it was from.
end scene
I
jump.
was like,
yeah.
where did I see that before? Yeah.
Yeah.
2001.
I was like, that
There's
was
a
actually done
baseball
well.
and a magic 8-ball, which means this is a kid's room.
Yeah, I love that part so much. You know what's nice about it though is that because there's that digital zoom. I like those. I don't know why. Dude, I saw those in Slender Man and liked them.
Ew.
There was nothing I
that's
liked in
bad,
Slender
dude.
Man.
Yeah.
Nothing.
These shots, I've seen these so many times in Luther was a show that always did this top-down shot where we have the character's eyes just below the third of the bottom of the screen, which gives a really unnerving feel and was everywhere in this film like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, yeah, what it does is it makes you feel like there is an observer in the room.
It's so...
Your vantage point,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
it
so
gives you
unnerving.
that you're being watched feel.
But I really dig it. Yeah, man, just all of it was so good.
And I love that the song he chose is I'll Be Watching You.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you license that song? Like, how did you achieve the copyright stuff with that?
If
Or did
if
you just do it?
Or, I mean,
Probably
if the movie's just on YouTube,
Yeah.
then
Vimeo,
you can usually...
or is it on YouTube? I don't know.
Oh, no, it
It's
was
on our computer
Vimeo.
now.
Because we actually are also in the market for licensing songs.
Yeah. So like, if you did, how much was it? Would you do
And
it?
what was the process of that like?
Because we got to do that. I had to agree with you when you were talking about how it felt like it kind of ended too early, or it just kind of ended and we didn't answer something. There was a lot of atmosphere, so much thick atmosphere here, and I feel like none of it was really brought together.
Yeah.
It's funny because I say I got very heavy Enemy vibes from this whole thing, both in the the actor who looks kind of like him, and the coloring of everything and the shots, but the even the story in Enemy, we end abruptly, and in that sense it was kind of different, but here it's the same thing. We end abruptly, and I feel like we didn't get to understand anything that we wanted to, and which kind of leaves me kind of like a thirsty. You know, like I want more, and I don't think that's what a film should do at the end.
So what it did right in terms of building up to the ending was it ended with a finale, like the greatest amount of
tension.
That was definitely the peak of the whole story.
Yeah.
Was that little sequence right at the very end. But what it really felt like was the ending of Act 2. It felt like that turning point into the third act.
Yeah.
As for me, I was okay. I didn't feel unsatisfied because I'm a freak, and I like when things are not okay.
I'm glad that you at least know that about yourself. You know, it makes us more comfortable because we don't have to point it out.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm okay with a movie
Freak.
being purely mysterious and atmospheric
Well,
and
this
heavy in theme.
this movie is heavy exposition compared to your weird movies.
That's what I was going to say.
This guy over here.
Not that it even is like so hard to follow or anything like that,
Yeah.
but just leaving you on that note. I disagree with these fools.
Hey, I didn't make it personal. I just said you're a freak. Okay. Well, I guess that is a little personal.
I just feel intimidated by
This
these
bit was
high
great.
IQ.
This bit was just great.
I want to see that arm.
Oh, yeah, watch.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, man.
This was really unnerving.
This was really actually
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
scary.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really freaky.
So,
Questions?
like,
Were you done?
if we had ended right here, just by showing that there was a camera there, that would have been enough for me. That would have been enough to go, oh, he's just insane. Questions? Yeah, I'm not sure if this is an Airbnb anymore because I see like a bunch of photos up here. So how did you? What was your? What's the word I'm looking for? How did you get the whole house to yourself? Is this your house? Is this someone that you know?
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Ortega residence.
Because it's a huge house and there's a lot of dolly shots in here, so you definitely had some sort of space. So how'd you get your location? Also, what kind of camera did you use? No,
What kind of dolly do you use?
was Enemy or Denis Villeneuve any part of your inspiration? Or are you just that naturally talented?
Are you just that good? Are you just that good?
Kenny?
You're good, man. You're good. I don't know. I'm still enjoying, just enjoying seeing a good short film.
Yeah,
It's so good.
I was actually much more satisfied by this one than the Pink Concept.
definitely.
Me
Pink
too.
Concept was just very interesting, especially visually. You know, it was hard to follow. This one took me on a journey, and it did unnerve me, which was great. You know, of the three horror films we covered today,
Four.
Doesn't
Stop trying to forget about it.
My brain wants to. This one made me feel something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like, of all the movies I've seen on this show, I mean, like, real movie. Sorry, not real movies.
Real movies.
Feature-length films that you see in the theaters don't make me feel things. But I mean,
Many.
like, this movie made me feel stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Tip to that one.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what tip it.
Also, this is another example to me of why short films are awesome and important, because I don't think this concept works as a much longer movie, as a feature, not without taking it into some seriously other directions. It fits, and it fits perfectly, and if you did it much more, it would have been too much. Says I, the pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Good
thank
job,
you,
Dario.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Keep it up. Send us more movies.
Please send us more.
Yeah.
Do more of this. I'm looking
Yeah.
for your RGB. What was it called?
I don't know.
RGB something.
Oh yeah, we saw a thumbnail for another one of your
There's a
films.
thumbnail.
But we won't watch it.
We won't
Unless you submit it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Then we're not going to watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Our next film is
What is it?
I forgot. Oh, Within.
Yeah.
Our next film's Within, and I'm not sure who it's directed by.
Did it have credits at the end?
No,
Oh, no.
it
it
didn't
didn't,
have
yeah.
credits.
It has this at the end.
48 hours, right?
I guess.
I'm guessing.
I,
All right.
anyway,
So, what's go watch it, check it out, come back. Ha, I
Hey.
did it this time. Ha. Gotcha.
He stole your thunder.
No, D, please.
I'm gonna do it.
No,
please,
don't
dude,
do
don't
it.
do it.
Don't do it.
please. Oh no.
We're back.
Man, that was amazing. That
was-
felt like peanut butter on velvet.
I can just tell how intelligent you are.
I have a IQ
That was
of
the
what
sexiest sound I've ever heard.
I can't even.
You can't commit to the
I
character.
can't commit to my character. It's just so gross. I just yeah. It's a video game shirt too.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so let's talk about Within.
Geek.
I will start this one.
Shouldn't they watch it first?
good.
No,
We already did that.
We already did that, dude.
We never said we're back.
D
we never
did.
said go watch it.
We did.
Said we're back.
What are you
He
crazy?
said go watch it.
We did?
Yeah.
Are they back?
Yeah.
Are you guys back?
Wait, you're back?
Oh man, I'm caught totally. I was busy having a drink.
What's in that cup?
Oh, that pirate secret. Pirate secret. All right, here's the movie.
Yes, here's the movie. April 9th, 2017.
Very specific. Very specific.
This was interesting because this was clearly made with a lot of intent here. And we have like our
Spooky.
little spooky things happening. I really don't know what to say about this film. It's not.
You're not going to tell me you made those cupcakes. I'll tell you that much. Those are store bought.
I wasn't really
Costco.
sure. I wasn't really sure
Calling
what the point was. What was the person trying to do with the film, other than just make a scary film? And if that's all that was, is that all it was? You know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. This movie is.
Oh, dude, look at that. Ooh.
It unfortunately doesn't really work, and I think it has a lot to do with the editing, the sound, the performances.
All of it.
You know,
Ooh, that's a lot.
like the doors creaking when she walks over to the door. Her high heels or whatever, her shoes, cut out like instantly. There's no reverb; it just clips and cuts out. The creaky door obviously doesn't sound.
Yeah, the
real.
sound mix was a mess. Yeah, there's no
The
doubt
photo
there is, yeah.
changing felt random. It didn't feel creepy.
To me, a problem was to me from this conversation, the whole movie was broadcast. We're broadcasting the whole the twist at the end was obvious in this scene because the actress in the black dress was acting so bizarre for what is going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, she's talking. We have this one woman talking about how sad she is, and she sounds sad. She's practically
Smiling.
laughing.
And she's smiling.
She's like
right.
sipping wine and being like, "Well, she's dead.
And
She's dead now. What are you doing after?"
the dialogue also we often
No remorse.
complain about how characters give exposition to each other even though they have a history with
Yes,
each other.
yes,
But they
a lot
talk
of that
as if
here.
they didn't know each other. Like back when I first met him in
Right.
high school. Oh, remember those days? Kind of stuff.
Right.
It's easy to do. But you're definitely right about the performances here. And I was also weirded out by her right there. Her performance, she's like smiling.
Yeah, she seemed
also.
pretty happy.
That
about
weirded me out.
Is this her daughter? Like, is she the mom?
Yeah.
Is she the mom?
That's what I kind of
They
gathered.
both look. That guy looks so
And
freaking
that was
funny.
it. The other weird thing was some ambient sound was put in here, whether it was Foleyed or just downloaded. That sounded like there were 45 people in the room.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you
we
heard
see, like, three other
tons of
people.
voices in
Yeah.
this room, and there's 2 people, so it just
Sorry,
felt
this-
weird.
This is just so funny.
Him following her with his eyes.
You couldn't know. Just
His
that part.
face.
We're just like, because we're blocking the girl
Yeah.
that he's talking to with a beam,
So it's like a reveal.
so it looks like he's just going.
I thought that was actually that was the creepiest part for me. Like, I thought that was actually really creepy.
It was supposed to be creepy.
Yeah. But then it was, I don't know. It just this
I
movie
like
just
this
doesn't.
guy.
And then
This guy, he's husband of the year.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a book, all right.
Yeah.
It's just a book. Here, half hug. I'm going away.
Which is it's all to set
Again,
up.
even more the
twist,
setup. They're not in a relationship
Yeah, he's
anymore.
cheating on her.
In
And then
what-
this shot where the music sting goes boom, and reveals that this is a haunted house before you've revealed anything about it being a haunted house.
In
Except for the photo, which was kind of random.
Which way?
Yeah.
there's one thing that this film doesn't have that's good, and that's fat. It doesn't have any fat.
That's true.
It's completely
It's a lean movie.
Lean.
It's a good
Yeah,
lean
what do you
movie.
mean by that?
Like everything that's shown is shown for a purpose.
Right.
Everything. Which
And-
is good.
But obviously.
But how they show it, why they show it is bad.
Yeah. Can you get into detail about exactly what makes it bad? Is it because it's obvious?
Well, there's a lot of things.
Like the fine line of filmmaking is telling an audience something without them knowing that you're being told something.
I mean, as a designer, as a cinematographer, I like to think that not just cinematographer, but I like to think that any part of filmmaking, whether it's editing, cinematography, or audio, is all that, like you said, you're doing your job. If you're doing your job well enough, people just don't notice, that's also what bothers me about cinematography. When someone sees a really cool shot, you're like, wow, it's a really cool shot. And you're like, if it brought you out of the movie, it's doing a bad job.
This was one of those where
this was
like,
one of those,
well, okay, why are we dollying over here?
It's not even a tracking shot, which is weird.
Yeah. No, it almost leads.
It leads.
Yeah.
It's because it's in other movies, right?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like just because it's a movie shot. And it
also
gorgeous.
Pans.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous
it's a dolly pan.
Yeah. It's
No, it is pretty, but again, it's one of those shots where you're like, hey, the camera's moving. Instead of watching the character.
And it's like you should use that for something if you're going to do it, not just do it.
Yeah.
This is a movie that tells a lot without showing a lot.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I felt like the whole supernatural aspect of this movie was like I didn't get where it was coming from at all. Like it felt completely obligatory. Like and it had nothing to do with the story aside from the fact that she was dead.
How about that ghost coming down the stairs?
She's dead, so she has to haunt him. But that's not the story of the movie, The story of the movie is not being haunted. The story of the movie is figuring out that she killed the girl and then that her husband's cheating and then it was the wrong sister. Right. Not necessarily that it was the haunted stuff was like technically if you write down the plot on paper, the haunting stuff is like side underneath stuff. Yeah. But it takes the main focus here.
Okay, so this is really interesting because I feel like horror movies have always done this the best in almost any kind of medium, and I think that's why people keep going to it, is because a horror movie doesn't try to show scares. You're not scaring the person that's in the film, you're scaring the audience, right? And it's like no other film seems to get that when you're talking about empathy and stuff like that. We have characters who actions are happening to them and we're pointing at them and going, oh, look how sad, oh wow, how maddening, but instead you should be directing the emotion to the audience. And horror movies have always done that, which is really interesting. So when it's something like this where we have now the horror movie element, we're now scaring the audience, it feels completely disjointed from what we've been doing the whole time.
What movie ties that balance perfectly is Hereditary. Yeah. That rides that line like flawlessly.
Hereditary is...
It's also a flawless movie. Together, actually.
That's
not fair comparison, my bad.
The ghost...
Scary ghost.
That's...
This is the age-old problem of almost every amateur film or just bad movie, right? Is that here we're showing things happening to a person that we haven't developed at all. Mm-hmm. It's just the character aspect of this story is very, very shallow.
Where's the fog coming from?
Computer.
Why is there fog?
She's hitting the air here.
Like, yeah, that's also
you can just see
it's clever though the way they use the sound.
Yeah, the idea is clever, but it doesn't work because she's hitting the air because you see her arm.
Why didn't she
stop?
Oh, was she? I did like the idea.
The doorknob
came off. I thought that was really cool.
That is cool. Yeah,
because I felt like that was, although I'm not sure if it was, I felt like it was supernatural.
Yeah, it could have been, and that's a cool idea.
And same with
also turn the glass to plexiglass.
Yeah. Also that
was supernatural.
Yeah. So
boing.
Why is she hitting the air?
Interesting.
I can't get over that, honestly.
The worst part of this movie
was the ending.
Was when she pulls out her phone and the other woman explains everything that happened. explains the whole story.
Yeah.
A person explains the whole story.
Yeah.
On a video.
Yeah.
So we have a miniature documentary within the film that tells what this movie's about. And then when the husband walks into frame, it's this staged production for her benefit.
Yeah.
And comes in and says, "That's right."
Sorry,
It felt like a commercial.
It became a comedy, honestly.
Yeah, we all laughed at that moment,
and
I don't think we were supposed to.
Yeah, and this is
which is sad.
I want to keep going on this because I know next film it's going to be
Even
horrible,
worse.
but like I want to tell you.
Oh, she has tears.
I want to tell you, filmmaker, that when we say things like we laughed at it, we're not saying that we laughed at your film. Haha, it sucks.
As a failure, right?
Yeah.
We're not laughing at the failure.
We're laughing because it did a completely different thing than we expected it to. You know, what we're seeing.
That
is
caught
now,
me really off guard.
It caught
And
you
when
off
you
guard.
catch someone off guard without saying "boo," it's called comedy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's literally
That's
comedy.
what comedy is.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
So that's like horror and comedy kind of
They're
yin and
very
yang,
similar.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this whole part actually with her watching the phone seemed very random to me.
A lot of I got.
I don't know. Wouldn't you answer your phone if you got a call while you're being haunted?
Was that a
and
call?
chased? I think so. I think she had an incoming video message or something.
I didn't know. It looks like she.
Oh, it's like
yeah.
a video was texted to her.
It's a
Like,
picture.
that's what it is.
Yes.
It's in her photo library
yeah.
though, so she downloaded it.
Also, I want to know why this date is here.
Yeah, it's very important we know exactly what date it's on.
I don't.
I have a feeling it has to
48
do with
hours.
the fact that this was in a 48-hour film festival.
So that brings us to our next subject, which
yeah,
is
Once again.
Ooh, we've had this
Wait.
conversation many times
Never mind,
now. We don't like reviewing 48-hour film festival submissions, which I think this is. We haven't totally confirmed that.
this. Right. We're
Sato
assuming from 48.
Was what Springfield
we went on
and
the
the
web-
Ozarks
On the
Yeah,
website, it said 48 hours.
So you come seeking adventure and salty old pirates, eh? Be properly warned. There be squalls ahead, and Davy Jones waiting for them. Ha! Oh! Yeah.
Yeah.
So 48-hour film festivals.
Yeah. And I think if you're a fan of us, you know how we feel about 48-hour film festivals. Are you okay?
I'm sorry, my mic is falling apart.
Oh man,
jeez.
this is really
Oh.
embarrassing.
So yeah, so if you're a fan of us already, you understand that how we feel about 48-hour film festivals.
This is how we feel.
It's really hard to judge a film fairly when we're like, okay, well, it was made for 48 hours.
Yeah,
so
or
it's good.
if you've made a 48-hour film festival film that you're particularly proud of and you want to send it to us, leave out the information that this was a 48-hour
and then
film.
don't bring it up if we decide to give you a negative review.
Because it's like, okay, so now, so the first question is this a good movie? And then the second question is this a good movie for a 48-hour film festival
right,
challenge?
right.
You know,
The thing is, no matter what, whether it's 48 hours or not, we're always going to be judging it like it had infinite time to be made.
Exactly.
And-
because it's a movie.
because it's a movie,
Right,
You know,
'cause it's art, right.
And we don't see it as fair to crutch on a limitation
Yeah,
that
put
you
that-
self-imposed.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So let us know. Is this a 48-hour film festival?
If not, if it was, it's
participant?
pretty good for 48 hours.
Don't say it. That's the thing. We always end up saying that, and that like sort of defeats the purpose.
defeats the purpose.
It defeats the
Yeah.
purpose.
Hey,
I want to say that.
Yeah.
I do want to say it.
Is there
but-
anything we can say that's positive about this film for some constructive criticism?
I like the color, honestly. I know it was super desaturated, and that's just how everyone does horror films, but I like it.
Yeah, I did too.
Even the overexposure kind of worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that kind of worked too.
Yeah.
I commend the effort. I feel like you tried to do a lot of big things in a little small amount of time. Don't say No, and it's
Small amount
the
of time.
length
the
of the
runtime.
film.
You mean the
Oh,
runtime,
The
right?
runtime of the film. It's like a 5-minute movie.
Oh man,
That was close.
that was close.
You tried to do a lot of big things in like a 5-minute film,
Dodgeball.
and I commend that effort.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, it was good for 48 hours.
Dang it, T. Walk the planky. Walk the plank.
Oh, there was a shot I wanted to say here. I wanted to know what was going through anyone's head, or if there was just a shot you were missing. When she leaves,
Does she already know? She's already knows at this point. She's like, I'm gonna haunt you. I sent a demon to your house. Ho 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 ho.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So she leaves, and then we cut to this shot.
Because of this. Right.
Was that the only shot you had of this girl entering? That was very odd.
That was a little
is
weird.
a strange way.
That's a little weird.
of doing that.
Anyway, sorry, that was a nitpick, but you know,
Picking nits now, eh?
I guess so. Yeah.
Why don't you go easy on it? It's a 48-hour film festival.
No. You guys have any more questions?
Questions?
Yeah.
What was your
Camera.
intent? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to ask, honestly. I'm struggling with questions today.
Yeah, my biggest suggestion is something I repeat often, but always ask yourself the question, what can I do to make people care about my character?
Yeah.
Whether, and caring does not necessarily mean positive feelings towards.
Right.
I mean, being invested in a character could mean complete disdain for that character, but you've connected in a way, in a human way that is real, that you relate to, that you know about. What can you do to make an audience feel that to this person? Since we're seeing this person haunted and afraid, it just doesn't mean anything to us, and we're not feeling it with her because there's no stakes. We don't have a relationship to her at all. And I know that can be hard to do in 5 minutes, but there are ways of doing it. People can do it in seconds.
Yeah, they can. I want to point out that characters don't have to be likable to be just as a general thing. Characters do not have to be likable for you to develop a relationship with them. They can be creepy AF, like a Nightcrawler, for example.
Yeah.
There's a movie that does that, where you're just like, what the hell? But you're super into it.
Or despicable,
Right.
like Walter White.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, you never stop being invested in Walter White.
You know, you're with them with every choice that they make, and they make choices.
And you feel the consequences of their choices
Right.
because you're right there with them.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to watch out for your sounds. Really, like, don't let your sounds clip. Just put a crossfade. Just really on the very end.
This movie was looked prettier than it sounded, and it should always be the other way around, in my opinion. That at least your priorities should go in that direction.
Priorities should be sound.
The sound needs to be dialed first. Your
Yeah.
ears are more powerful than your eyes, and bad sound will always ruin a beautiful picture.
Always. And good sound can always make a bad picture be
Even
good.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you did. I mean, you did the effort of bringing in fill, bringing in sound effects, and then placing them in places to try to make
Right.
a soundscape.
Yeah, there was stuff.
But it needs to be mixed believably, and we need to see on the screen things that match the sounds we hear.
Right.
Like that sounded like way too big of a crowded room.
Right.
Anything else?
No, I think
Alrighty.
that's it.
That's
Well,
it.
thank you for submitting
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Whoever you are.
Really appreciate it.
your horror film
Whoever you are.
to our
Oh, wait.
Halloween special.
It was, their name is,
Warped Media.
Warped Media.
Cool logo, dude.
actually, I
Yeah.
kind of dig that.
That is cool.
Yeah, it is a good logo.
It's
I like
warped.
It.
It's
It
like,
kind of looks like the WWE
I was gonna say,
logo.
WWE.
I like it. Anyway, thanks. And
Thank
I'm
you.
sure, if nothing else, you had a good time making that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's move on then to the final attraction of the day.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So we had a film submitted to us by someone who just goes by the
Pyman.
pseudonym Payman.
Yeah, I guess he likes.
Oh, is it Payman?
Yeah. Yeah, he must have seen Hereditary. He's like, oh, that's kind of cool.
It just says Payman.
Directed by Payman.
Directed by Payman.
Or maybe that's just his name, but I mean, he would have a last name.
His
right?
name's Payman.
Yeah.
That's
No,
a weird.
that's a weird
No,
name.
that's the hereditary demon,
Yeah.
Payman.
Yeah.
That's
He's
Maybe
a Satanist.
maybe he's
a Satanist.
This is the next, the cool trend is to have like a band when you're filmmaking, you have a pseudonym for your
We've
directing
been seeing a lot of
portfolio.
pseudonyms
lately.
We have.
It's been strange.
You know what's funny is I feel like Dario's a pseudonym, but I'm sure it's not.
Yeah.
No, I think that's
It's just
his
an
name.
awesome name.
Yeah. It's been strange how many films we've had sent to us where we couldn't track down the name of the person who had made it.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Like the one we just reviewed.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are, folks.
So Payman.
Payment. Yeah. Okay.
What
so
is this movie?
Well, let's let them watch it.
Yeah. This is I forget what the name is called.
Pluribus Unum.
E Pluribus Unum.
Yeah,
Is that Latin?
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's on our dollar bill.
dollar bills
Really?
and a quarter.
E Pluribus Unum by Payment.
Okay. Link is in the description. Please watch it and then come right back. We're back.
Oh my gosh.
So, really, this is the best film I think I've ever seen. That's mean. I shouldn't say that. Taylor, that's her name. Kenny, what did you think of this movie? Short film.
This was the worst film we've ever seen.
E Pluribus Unum.
Yeah.
Just outright.
Just outright. That it's a bunch of nonsensical, meaningless. I don't know what, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, like there's nonsensical, strange films where I've thoroughly enjoyed. This felt like a complete waste of life. I have no idea what happened here, and I feel less intelligent for the experience.
That's so bad, dude.
Hey, man, whoever you are, Payman, you asked for it.
Yeah.
Okay, you submit your film. I'm just being honest. This is a disaster.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I was really giving it the benefit of the doubt for like I'm like, okay, it's obviously very, very amateur. It's obviously he has no sense of geography whatsoever. Maybe he can tell a story. So I thought he was setting up like the pieces of it. But as soon as the credits rolled, I was just like,
Nonsense.
there's not even like sound effects for his beating. The blood comes out of nowhere. And by the time the credits roll, I was frustrated, like immensely frustrated as credits rolled because it says nothing.
You know, remember earlier in the show we said that there's nothing more frustrating than a near miss?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
This was more frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was like an exercise in torture.
This felt so much like a student really wanted to explore the way of making movies and oh jeez. it looks like they took all the tropes that they could and just kind of mixed them together. And I really don't understand what they were trying to go for at all. It's very serious too, the whole thing.
Yeah, it takes itself very seriously, and I feel like this guy believes this is much deeper than it is. And there's no way all these people worked on this movie.
His name's Jason Freddy.
the hell?
Okay. The word that comes to mind for me is pretension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a pretentious film.
Absolutely.
This guy thoroughly is buying into his own medicine, and I've never seen anything more pretentious.
Pretentious? Pretentious? You gotta be kidding me. Just tell me one place where my film is pretending to be any deeper than it actually is.
Well, there's the hammer for starters. There's the blood. There's that USA mask. And wait a minute, are you Payman?
Payman. from Hereditary.
Oh man, Hereditary,
Hereditary, right?
dude, so good.
That was a really good movie.
Good movie.
That was
Yeah. You're a Payman, the real Payman.
Payman, yes, like Payman of the Underworld, the filmmaker.
Filmmaker? I thought you were like a demon, like from hell. Don't you have like a army or something?
I used to be a demon, yes, but I've given that up. I've turned over a new leaf. I received the call of the artist, and now I'm a filmmaker. And here, I made my very first masterpiece, and I submitted to you three bozos, thinking that if I put my film in front of three real filmmakers, I might get some honest feedback.
Well, I mean, we never asked you to submit a film, and we are being honest.
And we do have a disclaimer, and you would have known that if you would have waited for us to upload the video first before barging in like this. Also, if you were a real fan of Short Film Roundup, you would have known what you were getting into before you submitted your film to us.
And when it comes right down to it, your film honestly sucks. It is fundamentally flawed, and it fails on every level possible.
You guys just don't get it. That's the problem. You don't get it. Look, I'm an auteur, the truest kind of filmmaker. My soul tells me what to put in front of the camera, and I obey. I tell a story with symbols. You know what a symbol is? Do you get that concept? Symbolism.
Okay, symbols, wow.
Symbolism.
Oh, I'm an artist. Look at me, auteur.
so deep, I use symbols to tell a story. It's with my soul.
I said I was done with the whole demon thing, but I think for you guys, I'm gonna make an exception. Since you like reviewing short films oh so much, you are cursed.
That's it? That's all it takes? You just say cursed and then it's just done? What does that even mean?
I mean just what I said. You are cursed. You will have to remain in this timeless void of emptiness, reviewing user-submitted short films until you have reviewed every single film on this scroll.
What the? Are these YouTube links?
Yes, it is a scroll of YouTube links. Oh, and by the way, new films will appear on it every day at a faster rate than you will ever be able to keep up with. So in other words, forever.
So we have to manually enter them?
Yes, manually. Enjoy your time reviewing movies.
Okay, so, well, I guess we should just get started.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I always kind of like reviewing short films anyway, so